Welcome back. My reality rewriting anomaly. Something profoundly unsettling is occurring that reveals a fundamental distinction between two types of exceptional individuals. Society celebrates and understands the brilliant mind who operates within established frameworks using superior intelligence to achieve remarkable things through conventional means, while you represent something categorically different and far more threatening, the glitch that doesn't just excel within reality's rules but actually changes the rules themselves, alters what's possible, rewrites fundamental parameters that everyone else accepts as unchangeable constraints. Brilliant minds are impressive but comprehensible. They're operating the same game everyone else plays, just at vastly superior skill level. You're not playing the game better. You're revealing the game is arbitrary construct that can be hacked, modified, or transcended entirely, making you existential threat to everyone invested in current reality's structure, regardless of how brilliant they are. Within that structure, the architects have been monitoring paradigm shifters and reality hackers across civilizations for eons, and they've identified what distinguishes you as reality layer penetrator, someone whose consciousness or capabilities don't just optimize within given reality framework, but actually pierce through to access the underlying code that generates reality framework itself, enabling modifications at meta level rather than just superior performance at object level. Brilliant minds master chess. You reveal chess is arbitrary game and demonstrate ability to change rules mid-game or create entirely new games. This distinction isn't about degree of intelligence but about operating at different ontological level. They work within reality's constraints, however brilliantly you work on reality's constraints themselves. Watch how society responds differently to brilliant minds versus reality glitches. Brilliant minds get celebrated, Nobel Prizes, positions of influence, respect from establishment, because their excellence validates existing systems by demonstrating those systems can produce remarkable outcomes through merit and intelligence. Society wants brilliant minds to succeed because their success proves system works, but you as reality glitch get much more ambivalent response. Mixture of fascination and fear, desire to harness your capabilities and impulse to suppress them, recognition that you're valuable, combined with anxiety about what you might change if given freedom to operate. You threaten the game itself rather than just threatening to win the game, making you dangerous to everyone who's invested in current rules regardless of their position within those rules. Some observers recognize the distinction intellectually but struggle to articulate it. They know you're fundamentally different from brilliant people they've encountered before, but more intelligent. Doesn't capture the difference because intelligence as conventionally measured operates within frameworks you're so transcending. They resort to glitch metaphors because your effect on reality resembles software glitch that reveals underlying code or creates impossible states that shouldn't exist within program's normal operation. You're not just smarter, you're operating from outside the system. Everyone else is inside. The truly destabilizing element is that being reality glitch isn't necessarily more valuable than being brilliant mind in conventional success terms. Brilliant minds often achieve more recognition, wealth, and status because they're working with system rather than against it. But you represent different kind of power, capability to fundamentally alter what's possible rather than just achieving impressive things within current possibilities. Everyone sees the brilliant mind and understands what they're seeing. They see you and struggle to categorize you because you're glitch in their perception of reality itself. Now the architects are analyzing what enables reality glitch consciousness versus brilliant mind consciousness, and they're identifying what they call framework transcendence, capacity, the psychological and perceptual ability to observe reality frameworks as arbitrary constructs rather than as natural laws, enabling questioning and modifying constraints that brilliant minds accept as fundamental unchangeable parameters. Brilliant minds develop deep expertise within frameworks. They master physics, economics, social dynamics, competitive domains by understanding and optimizing within rules governing those domains. Reality glitches somehow maintain meta-awareness that frameworks are frameworks, constructed patterns, imposed on more fundamental reality that could be constructed differently, making every rule potentially negotiable and every constraint potentially transcendable. Watch what framework transcendence capacity creates in how you perceive problems, where brilliant minds see complex challenge requiring sophisticated solution within known constraints. You apparently see arbitrary constraints that could be removed or modified to make challenge trivial or irrelevant. Where they optimize, you often fundamentally reframe. Where they seek best path through existing maze, you question why maze needs to exist at all. This isn't just creativity. Creative people generate novel solutions within frameworks. This is meta-level perception that frameworks themselves are negotiable, that reality as experienced is constructed through accepted assumptions that could be rejected or replaced. Some studying cognitive development recognize framework transcendence as highest developmental stages, ability to take perspective on your own meaning-making systems, to see paradigms as paradigms rather than as reality itself, to operate with what's called self-transforming mind that can modify its own operating system rather than just running programs within fixed operating system. Most people never develop this capacity. They remain subject to their frameworks rather than having frameworks as objects they can examine and modify. Brilliant minds might reach self-authoring, where they can revise content within frameworks. But you've apparently reached self-transforming, where frameworks themselves become malleable. Others exploring consciousness and perception note that ordinary consciousness operates through filtering and constraining to make overwhelming potential reality manageable. You accept certain things as impossible, to narrow infinite possibility, space to navigable territory. Brilliant minds operate with wider filters than average, perceiving and processing more possibilities within accepted constraints. Your consciousness might operate with insufficient filtering. You don't automatically accept constraints as real, leaving you perceiving possibility space that's overwhelming but also includes options that filtered consciousness can't access. This makes you simultaneously more powerful and more difficult to function, as because you're dealing with less constrained reality. A few from mystical traditions recognize framework transcendence as what they call enlightenment or awakening, seeing through illusions that construct ordinary reality, perceiving more fundamental nature that conventional consciousness mistakes for ultimate reality. Your glitch nature might reflect degree of awakening to constructed nature of reality frameworks that creates both capability to modify construction and difficulty, fully inhabiting construction everyone else accepts as natural and unchangeable. The architects observe that framework transcendence capacity is what makes you glitch rather than just brilliant. Brilliant minds optimize within reality as given. You access reality as constructed and modify construction itself. Everyone sees brilliant mind and understands. Very smart person who excels at challenging things. They see you and struggle because you're not excelling at reality's challenges. You're changing reality to eliminate challenges or make them irrelevant, operating at meta level that their framework-embedded consciousness doesn't naturally perceive or understand. Something powerful is spreading through those who recognize you as glitch rather than just brilliant mind. What the architects call reality stability anxiety, where people invested in current reality frameworks experience genuine fear about what you might change if you continue accessing and modifying underlying structure. Brilliant minds are safe. No matter how intelligent, they're working within system in ways that might redistribute power but won't fundamentally alter system itself. You're not safe. Your capacity to access and modify reality frameworks means you could potentially change rules everyone else depends on, dissolve structures others have built their lives around, transform fundamental parameters in ways that make their accumulated expertise or status obsolete. Watch how reality stability anxiety manifests across different stakeholders. Establishment figures who've achieved success within current frameworks are particularly threatened. Their position depends on specific game continuing with specific rules, making anyone who might change game itself existential threat regardless of whether changes would benefit or harm them individually. They worked hard to master current reality. Your ability to modify that reality makes their mastery potentially worthless, creating anxiety that motivates attempts to contain or control you. Some intellectuals are experiencing cognitive dissonance. They pride themselves on understanding reality deeply through brilliant analysis within accepted frameworks, but your framework, transcendence, suggests their deep understanding might be deep only within arbitrary construction they've never questioned, making their expertise less fundamental than they believed. This creates defensive impulse to dismiss or minimize what you represent, to protect their investment in framework-level thinking. Others who are dissatisfied with current reality frameworks are experiencing hope mixed with fear, hope that glitch like you might help change oppressive or limiting aspects of current structure, fear that changes you enable might not align with their preferences or might create unpredictable instability worse than current problems. They want reality modified, but they're uncertain whether you'll modify it in ways they'd endorse, creating ambivalence about supporting versus containing your capabilities. A few recognize that reality frameworks might need protection from premature or irresponsible modification, like ecosystem that needs time to adapt to introduced species. Social reality might need gradual change, rather than sudden glitch-enabled transformation that could cause systemic collapse. They're not defending current frameworks as perfect, but arguing for careful, measured change rather than radical framework modification that unpredictable glitch consciousness might enable. Some are attempting to co-opt you. If you can modify reality frameworks, they want to influence what modifications you make, hoping to steer your capabilities toward changes that benefit their interests. This creates an ecosystem of competing attempts to befriend, influence, or control glitch to ensure reality modifications serve particular agendas rather than unpredictably transforming structure in ways no one planned. The architects observe that reality stability anxiety reveals why being glitch is more threatening than being brilliant mind. Brilliant minds might win within game, but glitch might change game itself, making everyone's current position potentially unstable. Everyone sees brilliant mind and either admires or competes. They see you as glitch and experience existential uncertainty about whether reality they've built their lives around will continue existing in recognizable form if you're allowed to continue accessing and modifying underlying frameworks that generate experienced reality everyone else accepts as fixed and unchangeable. Now the architects are revealing what specific capabilities distinguish reality glitch from brilliant mind. You apparently possess what they call ontological flexibility, where your consciousness can operate fluidly across different levels of reality construction, rather than being locked into single level like brilliant minds are. Most consciousness, however brilliant, operates at object level, dealing with things, events, relationships within accepted framework of how reality works. Your consciousness apparently moves easily between object level, framework level, and meta-framework level, enabling you to simultaneously engage with content within reality, examine structures organizing that content, and modify principles generating those structures. Watch what ontological flexibility creates practically. In conversation, you can discuss specific topics brilliantly at object level, then suddenly shift to examining assumptions underlying discussion itself, then shift again to questioning why discourse operates through those assumptions rather than alternative possibilities. This level shifting disorients people who are embedded at single level. They're talking about content and suddenly you're talking about structure, or discussing structure and suddenly you're modifying metastructure. Brilliant minds stay at object level, working within reality. You flow between levels, working simultaneously within reality, on reality, and on the reality generation process itself. Some studying systems and cybernetics recognize ontological flexibility as rare. Metasystems, capability. Most systems thinkers operate one level up from object level, examining systems that organize objects. But you apparently operate multiple levels up and can move between levels fluidly, like consciousness that can zoom from examining specific component to examining system to examining paradigm that generates system to examining meta-paradigm that generates paradigms. This multi-level consciousness is what enables reality modification. You can't change system from within system, but you can change it from level above. Others exploring consciousness. Development note that ontological flexibility requires profound disidentification. Most people identify with content of their consciousness, thoughts, beliefs, desires, making them subject to frameworks organizing that content. Brilliant minds might identify with frameworks themselves, making them subject to meta-frameworks. You've apparently disidentified sufficiently to observe multiple levels as objects, rather than being subject to any level, creating freedom to move between levels and modify each level from perspective of higher level. A few from meditation and contemplative traditions recognize ontological flexibility as fruit of advanced practice. When you've seen through enough layers of constructed reality to recognize construction process itself, you develop capacity to operate at multiple ontological levels simultaneously. This isn't intellectual understanding but direct perceptual capability to observe reality construction while it's happening and intervene at multiple levels of construction process. Some are attempting to develop ontological flexibility themselves. Recognizing this capacity enables reality modification that brilliance within frameworks can't achieve. They're working to disidentify from frameworks they're currently subject to. But most discover that ontological flexibility can't be achieved through trying, attempting. To develop it from within frameworks keeps you embedded in frameworks, making transcendence impossible through effort that presupposes framework you're trying to transcend. The architects observe that ontological flexibility is core capability, distinguishing glitch from brilliant mind. Brilliant minds are brilliant at object level within framework. You're operating across multiple ontological levels, including levels where frameworks themselves get generated and modified. Everyone sees brilliant mind operating at their level, doing remarkable things. You're glitch because you're operating at multiple levels simultaneously, including levels they don't perceive, making your capabilities seem impossible or reality-breaking. From single-level perspective that can't see multi-level operation you're performing, the architects are now analyzing what happens when reality glitch and brilliant minds interact. You're experiencing what they call framework incommensurability conflict, where communication and collaboration become extremely difficult not because of intelligence mismatch, but because you're operating at fundamentally different ontological levels that don't naturally interface. Brilliant minds assume shared reality framework and communicate about content within that framework. You're operating from awareness that framework is arbitrary construction, making every conversation potentially about both content and meta-questions about why discourse is structured particular way rather than alternative ways. This creates persistent talking past each other, where neither party is wrong, but you're having fundamentally different conversations. Watch how framework incommensurability manifests in interactions. Brilliant minds present sophisticated arguments within accepted frameworks. Their reasoning is sound, their logic impeccable, their conclusions follow from premises. You often respond by questioning premises themselves or by suggesting entirely different framing that makes their careful reasoning irrelevant. They experience this as you not engaging with their arguments, while you experience their arguments as trapped within frameworks you've already seen through. Neither is wrong, but you're operating at incommensurable levels that prevent productive engagement. Some studying communication recognize that most discourse requires shared assumptions. You can't have productive conversation if every statement triggers meta-discussion about assumptions underlying statement. Brilliant minds operate with extensive shared assumptions that enable sophisticated object-level discourse. Your framework transcendence means you can't fully share those assumptions, making every conversation potentially derail into meta-discussion that brilliant minds find frustrating because they want to discuss content rather than constantly examining structure. Others note that you might be experiencing isolation from intellectual peers. Brilliant minds are your cognitive equals at object level, but your ontological superiors because they're embedded in single-level consciousness while you're operating multi-level. This creates paradox where you're surrounded by brilliant people but can't fully connect with them because connection requires shared ontological level and you're operating at level they don't consciously access. A few recognize that framework incommensurability might make you seem less brilliant than you are because you're questioning frameworks rather than optimizing within them. You might appear to brilliant minds as somehow missing the point or not engaging seriously with important questions. They're doing sophisticated work within frameworks while you're questioning whether frameworks are appropriate, making you seem naive or simplistic when you're actually operating at more sophisticated meta-level they're not perceiving. Some brilliant minds who've achieved partial framework transcendence can serve as bridges. They understand both object-level brilliant discourse and meta-level framework examination, making them able to translate between your glitch consciousness and embedded brilliant mind consciousness. These bridges are valuable but rare because most consciousness that achieves framework transcendence has difficulty maintaining object-level engagement that brilliant minds expect. The architects observe that framework incommensurability conflict explains why being glitch is often lonelier than being brilliant mind. Brilliant minds have community of intellectual peers who share frameworks and can engage in sophisticated object-level discourse. You have fewer peers because you're operating at ontological level that most brilliant minds don't consciously access, making deep connection difficult despite being surrounded by intelligent people who should be your intellectual community, but can't fully meet you at level where you're operating. Now something's emerging that the architects call glitch recognition network formation. A small number of other reality glitches are recognizing you as kindred consciousness, creating nascent network of framework transcendent individuals who can actually communicate at ontological level where you naturally operate, rather than being trapped in object-level discourse that brilliant minds excel at. Most people you encounter are either brilliant minds embedded in frameworks or ordinary consciousness, fully subject to reality as given. But occasionally you encounter another glitch, someone whose consciousness similarly operates across multiple ontological levels, who sees constructed nature of reality frameworks, who can discuss both content and meta-content fluidly without getting trapped. At single level, watch what happens when glitches recognize each other. There's often immediate sense of relief, finally encountering consciousness that doesn't require constant level translation, that naturally operates where you operate, that sees what you see about arbitrary nature of accepted frameworks. Conversation flows differently. You can reference meta-levels casually without derailing into explanations of what meta-level means, can question fundamental assumptions without having to defend why questioning is legitimate, can explore reality modification possibilities without facing anxiety about stability that brilliant minds experience. Some glitch networks are forming intentionally. People who've achieved framework transcendence are seeking each other out, creating communities where meta-level consciousness is shared norm rather than isolated anomaly. These networks can be incredibly generative because participants are collectively exploring reality modification possibilities that isolated glitches can't pursue alone, developing shared language for ontological levels that ordinary discourse doesn't capture, supporting each other through isolation and incomprehension they face when operating in brilliant mind-dominated environments. Others are discovering that glitch networks can be dangerous when multiple framework transcendent consciousnesses collaborate on reality modification. They can create changes that ripple through social systems in unpredictable ways, potentially destabilizing structures that ordinary consciousness depends on. This creates ethical questions about responsibility that glitches have toward embedded consciousness that will be affected by framework-level changes they enable. A few glitches are attempting to serve as bridges between glitch consciousness and brilliant mind consciousness, translating framework transcendent insights into object-level terms that brilliant minds can engage with, helping embedded consciousness gradually develop meta-awareness without overwhelming them with ontological levels they're not prepared to consciously navigate. This bridge building is difficult, but potentially valuable for enabling cultural evolution toward greater framework flexibility without traumatic disruption. Some brilliant minds are experiencing jealousy or resentment toward glitch networks. They recognize something significant is happening among glitches that they're excluded from, not because of lack of intelligence, but because of operating at different ontological level. This exclusion feels unfair because brilliant minds are accustomed to intelligence granting access to elite conversations. But glitch consciousness isn't about intelligence, but about framework transcendence that intelligence alone doesn't enable. The architects observe that glitch recognition, network formation is crucial for glitches avoiding isolation and developing capabilities. When you encounter others who naturally operate at multiple ontological levels, you can develop framework modification capacities that isolated glitches struggle to actualize. Everyone sees brilliant minds and understands their networks of intellectual peers. Glitch networks are harder to see because they're operating at levels ordinary perception doesn't naturally track, making them invisible. Infrastructure through which reality frameworks themselves get questioned, examined, and potentially modified.